no other way to show you this, but this is Google Earth Live, and this is a certain area in a certain location. Not going to disclose, but here's how obvious this goes. I had a Kundalini awakening, and I don't know how to tell you folks this, but I'm your Messiah. And I'm not scared to say it now, but I have for a while. I wanted people to figure this out. But here's God. If you look right here, the shape and outline, and you look, you see this mouth and the eye, and you see the serpent. And you think, well, God the serpent, and he is pointing in a direction. You see that there's like a finger here and a hand, like, hey, get your ass back that way. And then you look closer. Okay, this is Google Earth, like I said. So how does this happen? And you see down there, you can definitely see the full-size face of God, and then you see the cross in the dead center. Okay, you're wondering what this cross may be, and it is the place Jesus was hung on the cross and crucified. And that is for sure. And you look, and you pull back, and you see writing, like you see a perfect dot here, you see a dot over here, but I'm going to zoom this in, I'm going to show you closer. Google Earth, look, see, it even looks like something right there, like another beast. But when you look at this, it says Stargate, S-T-A-R, Gate, G-A-T, and I might need to like tin it, and then there's the E. And then you say, what's the last one? What has Mr. Carl been saying we are all along? Stargate Atlantis. Here's another one. It looks like the arc right there. And then you got the T. And you get an L. And you get another A here. Atlantis. That is just crazy. Maybe that says Pillar of Sacrifice. Oh, wow. For when Jesus went across. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'll tell you what I did. When I went outside, I thought I was getting whacked by the CIA. And out of love for everyone else and my parents, I didn't think it was right. I'm sitting here questioning this, like, literally from the bottom of my heart thinking this is going to happen. I'm going to get murdered. So, but why did, and everybody else was too, because of what I found out. So I flipped out just when I saw you. I was like, screw it. Here I am. Do what you got to do. But why can't the others live? They didn't do anything to me. That is pretty cool. That is just weird above the treetops. And like I said, they didn't do anything. So I'm like, and then this voice just comes out of nowhere and starts talking. And it almost sounds like a vision or a dream, or like it never happened, but it is real. Like he says, for thou was the most divine covenant acted out of self love. Like, I guess because it came from the bottom of my heart, and I really don't see one man's life, mine, should go on and everybody else or something like that. So way out in comparison. I wanted to sacrifice myself for the love of others, is what he says. And it wasn't intentional, but it was intentional. And that is where it comes from, the truth, the consciousness. And this is just incredible. You see the serpent, man. And this goes on. And this God pointing his finger, like saying, get back to the garden. And I kept saying, my house is the Garden of Eden. And you zoom out, and it's just pointing over here to that's Serpent Mound, which you can obviously see why, serpent head. And you get this little guy running up along the trail. And I have the Ripper's knife, Jack the Ripper, 1888. It makes me think maybe Columbus was actually Whitechapel. And they just covered a bunch of shit up, hide things. And when I rotate this map here, you'll see that we are within a pyramidic form. And there we go. And you zoom out, and all this right here, these are tunnels. There's tunnels all over the city here. So down here is where I was at with Serpent Mound. And it goes all the way up. And I'm right here. So you look at this. A triangle within a triangle. So when I looked at this spot and I compared this, these look like almost hieroglyphics. Like for thinking of Egyptians, and you just have to zoom out a little bit with Google Earth, and this is a photo view, and it's outlined in blue. But that's the all-seeing eye. That's where a lot of friends live. Here's the entrance somewhere down here in the people trail. But this thing, look, if that cuts straight off, I can zoom in. You can definitely see that. There's a ley line, and you ask, what is this pyramid? This giant pyramidic form. And by the way, right here was my sun connection. So I drew a line all the way across. Or no, I actually went all the way that way because I went up. And then as I went that way, as the Christ lines laid out that way, and I went back up. So I completed one of those stars through the stars. Thus, I didn't die this time. I got to remember my knowledge. Father said that you've experienced all that is. I've unlocked the key, the God code, so to speak, the Da Vinci Code, whatever you want to call it. I really don't want to say immortalness, but it is. That's what exactly it is. I don't want to live forever. We gotta get tired of something sometime. I've already been here millennia reincarnating to learn everything. But we all are. He says, you are what I am, and all that I am, you all are. So if I have this capability, you guys have this capability, we all can do it. You say, well, yeah, my sign's a Libra, and I balanced out on the chart just from the balancing scale, almost, so to speak. Like, it almost seems like if these were a set of scales right here, and I went over here and connected, and that line was already there, so I shoot back across, I have two smaller pyramids, and one pyramid makes three, almost like the Zelda Triforce. But it is free-flowing, zero-point energy. Mother Earth gives it to us naturally. By the way, I kept saying I had a lot of Picasso stuff, and just to show you how sneaky he is, this is Candlelight Pond, Candlelight Lake, and yeah, it's black for some reason. It's gross, and all the other places aren't like that. When I zoom in, there's an X right there. Remember, guys, X marks the spot. You see an X here, and you're going to look, and you're going to see an X here, an X there, and this runs all the way down through any landmass. Any water source is a life source. And when you figure that out, key is knowledge. For only you will know what is right and when it's time, because it is like spirit grabs you by the butt and throws you out there. But it's not. It's like we have an urge. Our world ends. My world ended multiple times, 4 to 5 times, but 2. One was by flood, one was by fire, and you're like, well, that's impossible. No, this really happened. Like the first one I had, I flipped out. Like, it is a schizophrenic episode, and it is not like permanent. It is like an hour or two. Well, at least I got it under control, and I just pretty much, when you feel overwhelmed, stop, say, back off, go away, leave me alone, let me figure this out myself. And they will. And the ones that are bad, and you feel, cast them away, tell them to be gone. You do not want any part of that. And this is a key way. Coming from the bottom of your heart, you can really connect with spirit. And with doing that, we can gain knowledge and wisdom. Because when I said X marks a spot, I was right here at my house on the sun moon, right across the little way here in the triangle area. So when my astrological chart, somehow I knew I needed to be over here. So if you think about this, and the Egyptians have a lopsided pyramid, I know I've read that somewhere, but it's how the solar system, like solar system and then the solar sun rays, when they come in at a certain degree or angle, so you get this, but I made a connection point right here. I was laying there, me and 2 other friends, and you say, why were you laying there? Something told me to be outside and be ready to get picked up or fly something. And I couldn't figure that out, but all I knew is there were ships below our feet, and I was to fly them. I kept having this vision, or I was supposed to do something. And you think, yeah, it sounds a little messed up. You go see a doctor. Well, for the longest time before all this started, I kept telling my dad, after I figured out all these discoveries and the Hitler and Brown County, Dad, it feels like we switch spots, like America switched spots with Europe. It feels like we're here and they're there. And that would be like an overlapping of a time jump, I guess you could say. But then I'm thinking, that's impossible. And everybody says, oh, you're nuts. Why do you keep saying that? And I said it for like a month. And then all of a sudden, I realized we're in 3D. And that was why Father sent me back with knowledge to remember this time. To wake everyone up, because it is 5D. It is coming up. That is your consciousness becoming one with itself and connecting with Source. And when you do this, it's like a journey through the stars. It almost seems like a haze of a dream of reality for the vessel you're walking in. But it's very much real. You cannot question it. And should you not, all God asks is that you believe in that higher power. You don't have to go bow down and worship Him every day at a church every Sunday. He says that is your day of rest for as long as we're out through the day and we're plowing through a field or we're fishing in a stream. You know, it is that sunlight connection. For the moon is Mother Earth, and they're both connected as one. And when you become that battery in the middle on the X marks the spot, it's anywhere in the world you look around, these are there. X marks the spot. Life source and water source. Remember those two key things. For a water source is a life source. And I've noticed some pretty funky stuff going around. Like, I look over Columbus here, and that's definitely looks like two people kissing. You can see the nose and the two eyes and the mouth. And you look down here, and you see other weird stuff. Crop circles. Wow, that looks like an Egyptian sun god with a beak. There's a beak right there. He's a bird, the eagle. Where are we at here? And he's looking that way, and oh wow, that's where I connected right there. But I am of light and shadow, but more of light. But I can throw quite a bright light out in the night. As far as what came down and what part of me went up, sounds crazy, but I got replaced with a brighter, whiter light, like a smarter soul of intellectual. My DNA, that's the thing, it connected from a split strand to transmutation as one. It linked. That junk DNA is not junk. That's actually the most valuable DNA you have. That's connecting with Source. And remember, what you pass out into the world, you'll get back tenfold. And it carries with us. That's called karmic debt. We all know it, and we know karma and fate, they come as good or bad. They're Mother Earth's children. But you look upon this it seems like one man out of every 25,000 years, whenever the star Bethlehem shows up over a continent, the Grail and the Ark should be moved as well. For that is the New Jerusalem. And these ancient Mayans, by looking at the stars, they were able to map all this out. And it's like that Mayan clock. And it ran out, so maybe we need to just pick up where they left off and make a new Mayan clock to show. Obviously, we did something right. We didn't end times. As far as my knowledge is only from way, you're talking the first time the earth was barren, there was dirt on the ground. My toes hit the sand. There was no buildings, nothing like that. But that's where we learned our lessons in lives. And we went through this a couple times. And we wiped out every time. But right now, you guys are at 5. I'm at 5. I'm here. And there's only 10 dimensional realms. For now, we've went all the way up to the 5th. But when you do that, you can exceed beyond the stars. See, we think, oh, the Cabal's going to kill us all because we're over flooding or populating the planet. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we're capable of interdimensional time travel, telepathy, communication between worlds. And you say, well, but that's just you because you woke up and you got some special gift. No, guys, it resides in all of us. Jesus, that man, God, he's in all of us. I can't even say I'm the Messiah, but I know, or a God-like creature, but I know I'm of good. I will not do harm unto nothing. No man, for there is other ways of resolution and approach, of peacefulness and oneness and love, and showing how to forgive in that compassion, but letting them know you know in the same sense leaves it to small tents. But it is that conscience that gets them, and they will either come clean or they will not be around you no more. But should you keep putting yourself in the same situation and they keep doing the same thing onto you, I mean, face it, it's really your fault. There's nobody else to blame because we have the choice in life. We will our own fate. We can exit out of any situation, even the matrices. For what you see around you, your imagination is real. And when I mean real, for all the little fairy tale movies about like actually fairies exist, dragons exist, but they're in other realms or dimensions, and you think, aha, you're nuts, ha. Laugh it up, guys. Because maybe not in here or in this lifetime, or if a dimension collides or something with another, for it does that all the time. You know, you guys feel deja vu or something just happened, or like you've done that before. You just interacted with yourself in another time dimension with warp. Like, it's like a glitch in the Matrix, I guess you could say. But it's not the Matrix where like Keanu Reeves comes out at you, obviously. But this is fifth dimension, guys. Here's a little secret. Anything we will, anything heart desire, as far as manifestation of thought, what we think about, remember, for when you think about it and you have a true want or need, it will come true. And that doesn't mean poof like a magic genie right in front of you, but you give it an hour or you give it a day. It just depends on the brain and the progress as far as unlocking these abilities. And I promise you, my friends, you will manifest and you will gain or get somehow it will encounter or walk into your life in some what we call a divine manner that we cannot explain. And that is the crazy part, but we know it's not crazy because when we manifest something, we set our heart to it. It's our heart's desire. And Jesus is all about the heart. But when you notice, there's a lot of crazy stuff here. And you see this big X. This is the last thing I'm going to go with. Columbus. X marks the spot. Really? X marks the spot for what? We are salvation. We are the old Atlantis smashed. Because you think, if it did this before, these big balls of fire come down through it, and they start causing tsunamis, what is all the earth that's spread out? It all, like, pretty much smashes back together from the point of impact, like the dinosaurs. So we become one again, then here comes another wipeout. We split up again, then boom, we're one again, and we split up again, and this keeps happening over and over. And we just, eventually the earth will be in little tiny tectonic plates, or it'll keep breaking up. Or maybe Creator did something to where these plates never break down, and this is the way life goes. So new species can evolve and exist on Earth. But should you unlock the God code or the key of the Matrix, you can exit yourself out of this situation every time by reversing the magnetic pull. And you say, well, how do that? Remember, guys, mind over matter. And when we all come together, what matters most? Your mind, your energy, for that is you. If you walk in a room and you're pissed off, everybody feels it. They know you're negative. But if you come in and you're happy and gleaming, they're going to be smiling and asking what you're laughing or happy about. So it's like sharing that happiness. And doing good unto others does not mean we have to be rewarded, but in silence is even better, I say. For then that is an angel's way. And that is how they will see it as well, because we are all God's angels. So when you think about these things, and the reality and the form and the context of the way the world is, there is simplicity within. You have no idea. We all can work a few hours. Everyone must contribute. That is most. And there will be no killing here. For those will be dealt with fate and karma and will be cast away. But not treated in a manner that you will have no food, because you will be given materials to provide for your own, learn responsibility. And that is where you will stay if you shall commit sin or as far as murdering, it is intolerable. No crime will go on, not even theft. For no man shall want; all men shall have all. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, I have ways of incorporating ideas that I've always thought about. If But I would never join politics. I lay neutral. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Here's how I see it: we are one. We are one with ourselves. We are one with the source. And if we're going to be ruled by a government, it needs to be by one, not for world order. That's that bullshit. And they get everybody rioting up against each other and looting stuff. Come on, America, wake up. We know better than this. It's like we need our bent over and our asses whooped by our parents, but they're not around. So where do we pick up? And where do we leave off? Do you want to go burn the stuff down that we're going to have to rebuild later? No, that's more work for all of us. For if we think before we act, and we think of these different possibilities and outcomes, and then you stop and you think again, but only stopping and thinking again one last time, for then you will have just created your future, because you're not going to go down those bad routes but you're going to accept all possibilities, because that's what you have to do. But you have to see it in all possibilities. So if you walk out and steal a 60-cent candy bar from a store, for not only will it be on your conscience and it must come out inevitably, maybe that is a petty thing to say because there's bigger things people do out there onto others, but think about this. Where does it get you? It could have got you locked up in jail. You could have got caught. You could have walked out of the store and got away with it. Or you could have went to the register and paid for it. So by eliminating, what has the bad outcome? Don't do that. That's your heart, your inner desire, your conscience. That's not a little birdie on your shoulder. That's saying first thought is your true thought. And you will be able to open yourselves up to learn and read from people. And just by them encountering your presence, be able to tell who they are and what they're about. Because I can say I'm the bestest person in the whole wide world. But then again, I could be the most evilest soul in the world within. Because no one knows our soul. But that is where I'm saying, like this Jack the Ripper guy from 1888. I went up against him. He was an evil soul. For he went in someone else. For I know when I walk, he walks. And that is always. For even in man's world. And if we eliminate him by showing him love, and that is fellow man, that is the evil that is spread, that's the only evil. There is no hell. Father casts you back right down here. And boom. Why? For an experience again. Because you haven't learned all that is. For it has taken me like 200 to 300 times here in this, I know. And that is being a blade of grass, wind, every element, everything of matter you can think of. Even a rock, so to put. But those do not last long because there is nothing of evolution there. Father wants me to learn the most, the best, how to lead man, how to show man different ways. But I'm not a leader that I want to be ruled or worshipped. You do not bow down to me. We are equal in all ways, and I shall treat you that way. Because that is the way of the people and the way it should always be. For no one man should have to kiss another's feet or wash their feet. Shall one man wash his feet? Don't be a homo. Wash their feet. But I don't think this stuff happens these days anymore. And that's okay on that. As far as there's so much other stuff to experience out there. I'm just giving you examples. From kindness, do unto kindness. For thou show you harm or disregard, man shall guard his temple, his castle. And your temple is your body or your worship, your place of worship, where you sleep, where your home is. You have right. Only justice right that you will know if you did wrong. For Father will take your soul then. And it is not for me to meddle and read into your mind if you're guilty or not guilty. But some I will see it right away. And that is where they will go spend the rest of their day. And death will be no more because we will not hear of crime. We will hear of, hey, I just helped the neighbors build a new deck and we painted it. Go look at it. It's cool. That kind of good stuff. But We're all about money, greed, capitalization, self gain, and that's over. I'm telling you right now. And there's certain people that when I'm more known for who I am, than I'm not this antichrist person. For you guys think Trump's the antichrist too, and guess what? No one is the antichrist except for ourselves. We will our own fate. Remember what I said? Manifest destiny, mind over matter. You think there's a big purple dinosaur romping down the street? Well, somewhere in the world there's a big purple dinosaur romping down the street. That's this dimension. Manifest destiny, manifest reality. It happens. Should you think it, it will happen. But maybe just because you think it won't happen right then, or it'll happen right then, that's what the magic we expect. No, all in time, friends. And then you say, well, that's the same old stuff as just what we're doing now, learning. No, I promise you. So you practice the ways I show and the ways I've learned. For I just woke up and I am now becoming conscious. And it's like I haven't forgotten everything, but should you say that right trigger word? It's like for all the knowledge and wisdom I have in my head, Mother Earth and Father gave me, like, it's like somebody taking the world's universal filing cabinets of a billion filing cabinets and taking a shovel and just like a baseball bat, just bam, whack them on your head at once. And all of a sudden you get the openness and the flood of knowledge that you can't shut off. Knowledge you question yourself. So what do? I researched it. I started going into stuff and I started looking for other things that this is how I opened my Kundalini awakening. I opened up my train of thought. I realized, hey, I'm being lied to. I just found out all the avant-garde from America is European avant-garde. And when you look at the names, they may be changing by the first name or the last name. And I look, I have Jack the Ripper's knives. And I realize, hey, my knife's in that painting. And you look down here and all this stuff, I'm going to actually show you around. I got like a minute left here. But these, you can see them. Somebody has covered them up. Is right here, you can see Vincent's name shooting across. There is Vincent's name or Picasso's name on this one. And you say, well, who in their right freaking mind would take $1 million painting and paint over something or make it so hard to see the signature? Like, this is Vincent van Gogh right here. And I can very much prove this. And I got all these. And you ask, you see that? Vincent. Vincent. And it's Wilhelm. Actually, it's incorporated in there, but you get Wilhelm, W-I-L, Helm, and you get Vincent's name down here again. Real big. And it's 1888. And I got a bunch of Van Goghs. Like, this one's a pretty good one. You can definitely see. It says go. And Vincent's up there. Let's see here. I'll find it. And if you look, that's another thing. Here's a good example. Evil will never prevail over light, no matter what. Because these all look beautiful to you guys, right? I mean, that's what I got them for to wake up to. But then when you start noticing the evilness, you say, how's that? Here's the outline of the Ripper knife. And not only that, there is cut up heads, there's torsos. You look at this, look close. There's 3 sticks right here stabbed in these people. There's a man here. It looks like even a child. Oh my, that is horrid. And there's a woman right there. And look, you can just see that. Stabbed him with sticks. And you look up here in the tree. Right there. That's creepy. Tell me there's some aliens among us. Hey, Van Gogh knew it. But there's so many. And then I have Picasso's Mona Lisa. I mean, come on, guys. This and Moses, a bronze sculpture bust. I mean, then the Holy Grail. I have that. But this isn't my Grail. This is for this time, the New Jerusalem. And you ask yourself, how? And you can see right there. It says there's our Grail. Big G, big R, big A, and see, that looks like an extension hole. And I can crack the codes on these things. But see here, Grail. And also my name is in there too. That is the crazy part. For you also see it. There's a C, A, R, and you get L, and you get Cox. C, O, and you get the X. And you get the second. So, I don't know. It's pretty clean. Looks a little shiny, except for the little alien guy like hanging out in here. See him? There he is. I'm telling you, I pick up on everything. But this is a little bit of what I got. Oh, and you think that's a lot of paintings and Van Goghs and Picassos? Let's try all of these. Van Goghs and Picassos. There's one for everybody, it almost seems like. That is definitely true. When the Picasso administration said that, they said that he made enough for everybody. But see, Van Gogh, I believe these were gifted to him because, I mean, Joanna Bonga is on a lot of those. So it's like two different collections mixed into one, but it's from Gertrude Stein. She was also an art collector. I even have a luncheon on the grass just chilling down here. I'll show you guys that. Look, hiding stuff in the paintings. A woman. See your face. Eyes right there. Pretty good, cool stuff. But you ask, the ways we perceive life and the way things could be, they could be a lot better, guys. And I have to say, peace, love, and the light with us all.